good day to everybody, and this is Romer from Phil-Am Express Racing Pigeons, and our channel is providing informations and different kinds of knowledge in regards with racing pigeons, One Loft Race and club racing. And we are here today with, should I say, legendary racing pigeon and fancier, Mr. Vern Clausen of Stoney Hill Loft. Well, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you. Let me comment. Yes, I'm a pigeon fancier, but I don't think I'm legendary.
Well, that's how we consider you. with so many achievements, and this is one of his achievements. The reason being that we are here interviewing Mr. Vern is we just want to get some knowledge about his legacy, about how he got involved with this kind of hobby, this type of sports. And we are so thankful for giving us this opportunity to share this wonderful sport. So how did you get involved, and when did you get involved in this type of sport?
Well, it was about 85 years ago.
85 years
ago. I was a little kid.
Okay.
And I saw some pigeons in the neighborhood, and I thought they were pretty unusual. So I begged my dad to get me a couple of pigeons. And it took a lot of begging, but he finally agreed gave in and got me a couple. And since that time, since I've been about 6 or 7 years old, I've enjoyed pigeons. There have been breaks, of course. When I was in the military, I couldn't have birds. And when I was in college, I didn't have birds. But I always came back to it.
So you joined the military?
Yeah.
And what branch?
Air Force.
Oh, that's the Air Force. By the way, we have that hat in here. And you were stationed at?
I was stationed in Texas and in Morocco.
Okay. So how long you been in North Africa?
A year and a half.
Year and a half. And then you took care of those birds then, while you're gone?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think when my dad realized I wasn't there and didn't care for them, they kind of went by the wayside.
Okay.
He didn't have the same love and patience that I did.
Okay.
So it was a matter of starting over when I came back.
I believe in your early days, I should say, there is no such thing as One Loft Race yet, right?
No, there was not, no.
One Loft Race is just recently, like 10 years ago or so.
That's correct.
So you've been doing like club racing?
Well, yes, we were members of a club.
Okay. Now that there's an OLR, we know that you've also joined the One Loft Race.
Well, I'm giving you my opinion now.
Yes.
Because not everyone will agree with me.
Yes.
But my attitude has been, and continues to be, that the love of the pigeon happens in the backyard of the breeder. So
I would like to reiterate that. The love for the pigeon.
Yeah, the love of the pigeon and the enjoyment of having them resides in the home.
Yes, there you go.
Fancier. So in those days, when I first flew, everybody had a loft in their own backyard.
Yes.
And we flew to our own loft in competition with people who had similar situations.
Okay. So not solely about gambling or something like that.
No.
It's about fun.
It was the enjoyment.
The enjoyment.
That's correct.
I like the way you put those in words. The enjoyment of having pigeons or being a fancier starts at your backyard.
It did with me, and it has with people my age.
That is true.
Yes.
and that is what we are trying to also promote to our viewers, to all, many people there, that there's something in here.
One of the advantages that was true in my case is that I had a couple of young children, and it was a backyard sport. We all enjoyed it.
Yes.
My family enjoyed it together, and we planned meetings. We waited for birds to come home from races.
Sport, yeah.
I guess it's the competitive spirit. And the enjoyment of seeing what's going to be produced by the pair who chose to be together.
That is true.
Yeah. My experience has been during the course of years that the family strain was very important to breeders.
Correct.
And it's not so important anymore nowadays, because now when you check with the advertisers, it's the individual bird that is comprehensively.
Yes.
And I think there's value in both concepts. Obviously, it's the individual that produces, not the strain.
Some birds.
So,
And Mr. Vern Clausen here, he will show us what are the physical quality of the bird, right? That you look, and some fanciers can check how, for example, they will buy a bird, they are new into this kind of sport. You will be able to show us what they need to see and look for a quality bird, correct?
well, what I see is the quality bird.
There you go. I like that. And do you have a particular kind of stock of bird, like, this is the bird, the bloodline that I'm not gonna sell. This is my baseline.
Well, yes, of course. We establish a family,
Okay.
and that family may be all of one strain, or it may be made up of several strains.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a family that's been successful for you, and so you try to propagate that.
Is it okay to share to our viewers what is your stock line or stock bloodline?
Probably the largest number of birds in my loft at this time are Hubins.
Hubins.
But I also have sticklebouts,
Stick about
and I have Janssens and
Janssen. Why did you choose Hubin as your largest number of your stock birds?
years ago I brought in, about the same time, I brought in 3 different strains of birds. One of which was Hubins. I won't mention the other 2.
Okay.
They were all equally good.
Okay.
But I got to the point where I was having too many birds.
Okay.
And I had to make some decisions.
Okay.
So I chose to keep the Hubins.
The Hubins.
They had the kind of body that I liked. They had the size that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good eye, good muscle, and they did very well on the short to middle races.
Okay. And then you cross that sometimes, right?
Yeah.
To stick about,
Right, that's correct.
the Hofkins, and you see if they are click
Right.
for the race.
Yeah. As I mentioned, the Hubins to me have been short to middle distance birds.
Mm-hmm.
But if you cross some of the birds with more endurance, for example, the stickabout or the Sion, you increase the endurance
Okay.
for the young.
So I'm sorry to cut you. Stick about is for the endurance, right?
Yeah.
Like it's long distance.
Yes.
And then Hubin is for
More short distance.
short distance but speed.
Yes.
So you combine them, and the blood will be
And
like.
hopefully you get the best of both sides.
There you go. Hopefully.
Yeah, right. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Can you be kind enough to share what is the bloodline of these winners?
Yes, the bloodlines of those winners are
Johnson,
Hofkins,
Hopkins,
Sticklebout,
Stick about.
and Ludo Clausen.
Ludo Clausen. I have a friend, he's a retired U.S. Navy chief. He gave me a Ludo Clausen.
Really?
Yeah,
They're very good birds.
they are.
Yes, they are.
Are they long distance or
Yes,
short?
they are.
They're long.
They'll fly well.
They'll fly. So later on, Mr. Vern also gonna show us his loft, and he has some breeders now, right? That he's preparing for One Loft Race. And there are some viewers that already acquired some birds from Mr. Clausen. And if you are willing, I'm going to put his information in the description of this video, and you can contact directly Mr. Clausen. I'm not a middleman. They might think that I'm earning something from. No, I'm not. I'm even buying birds from Mr. Clausen here. I'm just trying to help the industry, the breeders. And he will show us also how he prepare for the breeding and everything. And what month of the year you prepare for. For example, you're gonna breed your winning birds, or you're gonna breed birds. What month do you choose?
Birds have to be banded with the current year's bands in order to fly as young birds. So you dare not put the pairs together until after Thanksgiving of the previous year.
Okay.
So that when the babies are the size to be banded, we will have turned the calendar.
So after Thanksgiving, that's your prepare month.
Yes. I personally think The birds that are produced in March and April are also very, very good.
Can they still catch up with the One Loft
Oh,
Race?
yeah. It depends upon when the One Loft Race is flown.
Yes. And then when did you join the One Loft Race?
Oh, probably about 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
But when my friend Lilton Morris
Okay.
established the One Loft Race, I entered that race.
Mm-hmm.
And out of friendship to him, and because I wanted to see how my birds were doing
Yeah.
in comparison to birds from all over the nation.
Yeah. Well, your bird is always in the top 20s at least. You know,
Yes,
because
this last year was there were, I think Lilton started out with 1,700 birds,
mm-hmm.
and about 900 went to the last race, and one of my birds was 20th.
20th, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a cutoff.
Right.
So yours is 20th.
Yeah.
At least, like, every time that you join the One Loft Race,
Yeah.
your birds is always there.
Well,
Almost.
I've been fortunate.
You've been fortunate. Because of the good breeding.
Well.
So now Mr. Clausen will show us his loft. He will share us the birds that he's breeding, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How do you choose the birds that you're gonna match?
A whole series of things come into play.
Yeah.
First of all, the way the birds are built.
Okay.
They have to complement each other.
Okay.
I look for a bird with muscle, with a good wing, with a strong back,
Okay.
with a good eye sign.
Okay.
I like, although many people poo-poo that, but I like it. I've enjoyed it. Looking at the throat,
Mm-hmm.
all these things.
So can you show us now, like, some of the birds that?
Well,
Look, this one. What color do you call this one?
I'd call that a blue bar splash or
Blue bar
a blue
splash.
pied.
Blue pied.
Yeah.
And these ones are. There you
The
go.
one on the little box there is a grizzle.
No, oh, okay. That's a gristle.
And down there's a 12-year-old hen.
12-year-old hen.
She's also part of the family that produced well for me.
Oh,
That was
okay.
a trophy.
Yes. And then we have here. What is the bloodline of this?
Well, the hen is Jansen,
Okay.
Hoffman, and Sticklebout. The cock is Ludo.
Is that
If you've seen one, I guess you've seen them all.
Well, this one. This is the. I'm just so excited with that one, and I'm always excited. That is the winning bird.
Right.
The $34,000
Right.
winner. And you partnered that with what is the bloodline of that one?
Jansen and Hopkins.
Johnson and Hopkins. And this one is
One of them is a Houben and one of them is a Figo. And they also produced the $12,000.
These are the $12,000 winner.
Right.
Just to let you know, guys, that's the 12,000. Do they have a?
They have one little baby that just hatched.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a, yes. They're sticklebouts.
Stick about. See how many breeders?
Leo Hermans.
Leo Herman.
They produced well in last year's GSAF.
Herman.
Yeah.
And this one is the stick about,
And these are sticklebouts.
which the long distance, right? They are the one for long distance. That's nice.
And you can come and take a look inside the loft. It's not clean, but pigeons have the same problem with cleanliness as people do.
Yes, sir.
Most of these are Houbens. They haven't been mated yet this year, but there is plans. There are plans for mating.
So can you be kind enough to show us, like, physically how we gonna choose? For example, I am a new and no knowledge. How am I gonna choose a bird?
Well, I have in my hand a Houben hen.
That is a nice Ruben.
Last year, 2022, she produced a winner in an auction race in Victoria. She's a very nice pigeon. She's got a nice strong back. I like that. She has a good flying, a well-balanced wing.
So what do we see here? What do we look into?
We have 10 primary flights, which point to the point, and then 10 secondary flights that point towards the pond. All right. Notice that the bird's feathers are clean and neat. The birds have to be kept healthy and free of parasites.
Okay.
Produced well. Probably. It's been a prisoner, so it has not flown itself, but it's produced winning birds for me. The eye is clear and bright, which is an advantage.
Are you into the size of the nose?
No.
Not really.
No.
No, that's a myth.
Well, to me it would be. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Because your winner there doesn't have really like the nose of this is even bigger than the other one.
well, the nose doesn't win the race.
That is, I like that one. So that's
That's a Ruben.
That's a Ruben, and that's how you check if you're looking for a quality bird.
Well, that's a well-balanced bird. You see them sitting on the perch or on the feeder, and you study their posture too. You also, of course, want to determine how they fly. So you train them, you fly them in races, and that becomes a factor in reproducing. Because if the bird does well, you'd like to keep that idea current.
How often do you feed them?
I feed them twice a day.
Twice a day, like morning and afternoon.
Morning and evening, yes.
Morning and evening.
Well, early evening.
Are you particular with the feed that you give them? Like how many percent of protein?
Well, it depends upon what the status of the bird is during the course of the year. When they're breeding, I feed them a higher protein feed. When they are, as these birds are just separated now and haven't been mated yet this year, they probably get about a 12 or 13% protein.
So for example, Mr. Vern, I'm going to breed a quality bird that I acquired from you, a breeder already, and I want to breed them after Thanksgiving. You said that's the ideal month.
Well, so as to put new bands on them.
Yes, to put a new band. So I'm going to breed them, right? How do I prepare them for breeding?
Well, I always go put them through a health program.
Okay.
And Seagulls is an organization which sells a lot of pigeon supplies, and I procure medications from them.
Do you deworm them before or after?
They dewormed, and I give them a 5-in-1 or all-in-one powder, which takes care of coccidiosis. And
so you put them in a drink?
Yes.
The 5-in-1? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they already have their eggs and then it hatched. Do you change the feed that you give them?
In preparation for breeding, I increase the protein just a little bit.
Okay.
Probably 14 and 15%.
Okay.
When they hatched, I give them a higher protein feed, yet smaller grains.
Okay.
Because it produces nice youngsters.
And then you also put grits, right?
Oh yes, grits always.
Are you particular with the grits that,
No, I get my grit from Iowa.
Okay.
More feed right here.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing us this wonderful information. And so what is the advice that you can give for your viewers, for our viewers who are planning to get into this kind of sport?
Well, if you're not into sports yet and you intend to become involved, I think the first thing to do is to make sure you have a good stock, that they be healthy. Just because somebody wants to give you a bird or sell you a bird, make sure it's healthy. And if you can find out what that bird has accomplished, that would be fine. I would suggest to a new flyer, instead of going out and buying birds from people who just want to make some money, go to a good fancier who has been successful and tell him that you want some young birds from him.
Okay. Not the breeder yet,
No.
right away.
No.
Don't buy the breeder yet, right away.
Don't buy the breeders. Get young birds that whose siblings have been successful,
Okay.
and take those home, nurture them, watch them, study them, watch them mature, and train. Settle them, train them, possibly fly them competitively, and then make a decision as to whether or not it was a good thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are colors in every mating,
Mm-hmm.
and there are champions in every mating, or not, and hopefully in every mating.
So to enjoy this sport, like what you said earlier,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I used to have a lot of stress in my job, and when I'd come home and go in the pigeon loft and check out my birds, I could relieve myself of all this stress that I enjoyed, that I experienced, and enjoy my pigeons. And it's been a good thing for me, so I've been stayed with it all these years.
so for the record, I just want to reiterate this. Mr. Vern here is not advertising his, selling a pigeon, but rather he is just willing, if someone wants to buy, is that correct, sir? Wants to buy.
And I'm not, if somebody wants them, I'll be glad to share with them. And I will charge them a little bit. I will not charge them exorbitant amounts like you see advertised on the computer. I don't intend to do that.
Let me cut you a little bit, because there are some people who are like, if you buy a cheap pigeon, it will give a cheap result. What would you say about that? And some people will be like, oh, you bought a cheap pigeon, and then
I know.
can you give me some words about that kind of notion?
I think that's the biggest bunch of foolishness there is. Somebody will tell you, well, this pigeon is a $500 pigeon.
$1,500 pigeon.
Or even more, I wouldn't buy anything that was less than $400 or $500. Well, that pigeon may not fly as well as one that was a gift.
Yes, yes. And just for the record, you can buy inexpensive pigeon from Mr. Vern Clausen just to help out the newbies, and those has a good records.
Yes.
And you have pigeons here that won $12,000, $34,000, and recently in Texas Dash for Cash, the 28th bird also won something.
$1,000, yeah.
$1,000, right? Well, thank you so much, sir, for this great opportunity.
Well,
And
thank you.
and it's always a good experience being here with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.